Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to tackle this question from the IB Chemistry Paper 1HL from November 2017. And in this, they're asking us to determine the name of this compound using IUPAC rules. So let's get to it. They've given us this funky looking figure of this organic compound, and it is a bit difficult to discern the name of this compound just using this figure. So what I like to do is I like to make a more simpler version of this, which would be a linear version. So it's a more organized version of this figure. It's the exact same thing, it's just more organized. It's in a straight line, so it's easy for me to understand. So that would look something like this. So the CH, that which is this group, and then this is attached to another carbon, this, and then this carbon is attached to another carbon, which has a hydroxyl group attached to it, and also a methyl group attached to it. So that would be this and this. And then finally, this carbon is attached to a final carbon, which has 3 hydrogens attached to it, and that would be this one. Now, how do you name this? How do you name this? The first thing you need to do is you need to determine the longest continuous chain of carbons. So you can draw a line through the carbons and determine which is the longest chain. The rule is that your line cannot pass through the same carbon more than once. So this could be the longest chain, or this could be the longest chain. Either way, it's the exact same thing, right? The longest chain of carbons in this compound consists of 4 carbons. Either way, either which way you draw it. I'm going to personally prefer to draw it like this. You can also choose to draw it like this, but it's the exact same thing. There is no difference. So longest chain of carbons in this compound is 4 carbons long. And there is also a hydroxyl group present in this compound. So that would automatically make it something along the lines of butanol, right? Because any compound which has a hydroxyl group attached to it gets an OL at the end of their name, butanol. And I've left this blank in the middle because this blank indicates the position of the hydroxyl group. And by position, I mean which number carbon is it attached to. Now, how do you number it? How do you number the carbons? You can do it like this. So you can do 1, 2. And remember, the numbering of the carbons is only done of the carbons that you are including in the chain, right? Any side chains are not included. So this carbon, which is a side chain, is not included. Only the carbons in your continuous line, like I have drawn over here in this straight line, the longest carbon chain, only those carbons are numbered. So you can number it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. But that would be wrong. You can't do that. And why is that? That is because in this numbering system where you number from left to right, the carbon with the hydroxyl group attached to it is carbon number 3. And the IUPAC rules state that if possible, the carbon with a hydroxyl group or the functional group attached to it should be given the priority number. So its number should be as small as possible when you're numbering. So in this case, it was given the number 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. However, what if you number the other way, from right to left? So by right to left, we would number it from this carbon to this carbon. That would mean this carbon becomes 1, this carbon becomes 2, this carbon becomes 3, and this carbon becomes 4. And as you can see in this numbering system, the carbon which has the hydroxyl group attached to it, which is carbon number 2, has a smaller number than the other numbering, the other way that we numbered it previously, where we numbered it from left to right. That's why you should be careful of how you number it. Make sure that the functional group, the carbon which has the functional group attached to it, has the lowest possible number in that compound. And in this case, we have ensured that. And that's why 2 is the number given to the carbon which has the hydroxyl group attached to it. And this hydroxyl group is a functional group, right? The functional group can be anything else. It can also be I don't know, maybe something like this. It could be like that. That's a functional group, right? So that's just a general rule for you to remember. And since the hydroxyl group is attached to carbon number 2, this is going to be called butane 2-ol because we are indicating the position of the hydroxyl group, like I said earlier. So it's on carbon number 2. And that means that we can immediately eliminate A because look, they made a mistake over here. It says butane 3-ol, so this has been given to trick you. This is wrong. The number of the carbon should be the smallest possible. The carbon which has a functional group should have the smallest possible number. And that leaves us with 3 other options. Now, what else do we have to do? We have written the functional group. We have numbered them. What's left? Well, we're forgetting about the side chain. There is also a side chain over here. And this side chain consists of only 1 carbon, right? There's only 1 carbon. So this side chain would be a methyl side chain. So it would be methyl. So if the side chain consists of 1 carbon, it's considered as methyl. If it consists of 2 carbons, it's considered as ethyl. 3 is propyl. 4 is butyl. I'm sorry if some of the spellings are incorrect, but you get the idea. You get where I'm going with this, right? So since there's only 1 carbon in the side chain, it's a methyl, and that means we can eliminate B because for some reason it says ethyl. That is wrong. That's not the case over here. We have methyls. Now we are only left between C and D. And the difference, this number, again, what is this number? 2 and 3? Well, that indicates the location or the position of that side chain in the compound. And as we said, the carbon, this carbon over here, when we numbered it from right to left, that is the best numbering system. That is the right numbering system. And in that numbering system, the carbon, which has the hydroxyl group attached to it, also has the methyl group attached to it, and that is carbon number 2. So the position of the methyl group is actually on the second carbon. And that's why it will be 2-methyl butane 2-ol. And that is C. That is our correct answer. Why not D? Well, because as you can see, in D, they are saying the answer is 3-methyl butane 2-ol. That's completely wrong because you have to stick with your numbering system. You can't change the numbering system. You have to make one and you have to stick with it. If you're making it from right to left, you keep it like that throughout. If you're making it from left to right, you keep it like that throughout. But make sure you have the right numbering system. And I've given you the criteria on how to ensure you have the right numbering system. The carbon, which has the functional group attached to it, in this case, our functional group is this hydroxyl group. So the carbon which has the functional group attached to it should have the lowest possible number in the longest chain of carbons. And our longest chain of carbons, like I said before, consisted of 4 carbons. Now, just to recap, how do you calculate how do you determine the longest chain of carbons? Well, you can draw a line through the compound continuously. And the rule is that your line cannot pass through the same carbon more than once. So you can draw it like this, or you can draw it like that, but you cannot do this and then go back up and do that. That's because then you break the rule. You're passing through the same carbon twice. So that is a no-no. And likewise, you can't do this. That again breaks the rule. You're passing through this carbon and this carbon twice. So just remember that and you'll be all set to tackle such questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Let me know if you have any other questions regarding this concept or any other concept, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Message me on my social media, send me an email, put it down in the comments below, and I will do my best to make sure that you understand whatever it is that you're confused with. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in another video with another question. Goodbye.